Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tear down a really interesting piece of online media, kind of like a digital artifact, you could say. We're going to figure out what it's really asking us to do. And it all kicks off with this simple countdown.
1. A simple number, right? But it's already starting to pull you in.
2. And now the anticipation starts to build, just a little bit.
3. Almost there, leading right up to a command. Go.
And there it is. Such a simple word, but it's doing two things at once, isn't it? It's an invitation, but it's also a clear instruction.
So that's really the big question here, right? Where exactly are we supposed to be going? This whole thing, it's designed to get us to do something. So let's break it down piece by piece and figure out what's really going on. All right, first things first. We have to figure out what exactly we're even looking at. To get to the bottom of its purpose, we've got to treat it like an artifact, a clue that's part of a much bigger story.
Okay, so here's our first major clue. This is not just some random piece of art floating around the internet. Nope, it's actually very carefully constructed promotional material, probably for some kind of online presentation. And honestly, knowing that it's marketing, well, that's the key that unlocks everything else.
And if you look closer, this reveals the whole commercial world it's a part of. We've got multiple trademarked brands here, a website, even a media channel. This tells us it's not just a one-off message. It's more like a web, connecting a bunch of different commercial interests.
So, let's look at how the actual story is built here. Like any good story, this one has characters. The twist? The characters aren't people. They're concepts that have been turned into people. It's a clever way to make a really abstract idea feel a lot more real and compelling.
And here they are. You can see a really clear division of labor between them. The MetaVerse queen, she's the what. She represents the product, this whole new virtual world. But Mr. Call to Action, he's the how. He exists for literally one reason, to get you, the audience, to do something. He is the marketing goal, just given a name and a face.
Okay, so we've got the product, and we've got the marketing goal. But why should anyone actually care? Well, every good piece of promotion has to promise you something, right? And this material is very direct about it. It calls it the value inside.
And it is a big promise. I mean, they're not just selling a new app or some cool game here. They're framing this as the next iteration of the internet. That is a massive claim, and it's totally designed to make you feel like this is super important and you need to pay attention right now.
So they take that huge promise and they break it down into things that feel more real. First, they promise you adventure, these new virtual reality experiences. Then they promise a deeper connection with people. And finally, they promise an advantage, a chance to stay ahead of the curve.
But stay ahead of what exactly? The competition? The future itself? They just leave it hanging. And that's a classic marketing trick, right? It creates this little gap in the information that your brain just naturally wants to fill in. It makes the whole thing more engaging because it hints at some kind of threat or something you might miss out on. So, this brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. We know the product, we know the promise, so what exactly are they telling us to do?
The very first command is super simple and direct. Start your camera. Just like that, you've gone from just watching to actually participating. It's the first little yes they're trying to get from you.
And then the second command, focus, zoom in, zoom out. It builds right on top of that. See, it's not just about having the camera on anymore. Now it's about using it to explore, to zoom in, look closer, and really start to engage with this new world they're showing you.
And all of this leads to the ultimate goal, which is packaged up so neatly in a single hashtag, #PushToGoDiscover. This is it. This is the one single action that Mr. Call to Action has been nudging us toward this entire time.
So you see, the hashtag isn't just a tag. It's the whole engine of the campaign. It's the button they want you to push, both literally on your device and figuratively in your mind, to get you to enter their world and find that value they promised.
So let's do a quick recap of everything we've uncovered here. We started with what we now know as a piece of promotional material. We found its two main characters, the MetaVerse Queen, who is the product, and Mr. Call to Action, who is the marketing goal. We saw this huge, grand promise of a new internet, and we figured out that it all funnels down to one simple action. #PushToGo.
And that leaves us with one last big question.
The marketing is promising us this whole new world of adventure and deep connection. But now that we see how it all works, when you push go, are you really taking the first step into some revolutionary new reality? Or are you just making the first click in a really, really clever sales funnel? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.